WBUR Podcast, Boston.
This is Up Next. I'm Sharon Brody. A new fight is brewing over automation in the car industry. Hyundai plans to introduce a humanoid robot to its plant in South Korea. Workers got so angry about this, some walked off the job. Boston Dynamics in Waltham makes those humanoid robots, and that company is owned by Hyundai. Scott Kirshner, business reporter with our editorial partner Mass Live, is here to explain. Hi, Scott.
Hey, Sharon.
Hyundai announced plans to introduce a human-looking robot to do what?
To take on car assembly tasks, putting parts together, moving components around, and potentially doing some actual assembly or installation of car components on their assembly lines.
So the actual robot hasn't been rolled out yet. This is the concept of a plan of a robot?
It's the concept of a plan, but if you know Boston Dynamics, you know they are very good at promoting the robots that they build. And so during the World Cup, they had a humanoid robot that could kick a soccer ball. And they had a big demonstration earlier this year at the Consumer Electronics Show. They have dancing robots. And so probably if you are a South Korean union member, you have seen videos of how capable this humanoid robot is becoming.
So, right, those workers are feeling pretty threatened. They staged this partial strike, walking off the job. What are their demands?
Their demands are really similar to labor demands that we've seen in a lot of recent conflicts around the use of AI or the deployment of robots. I mean, we want you to commit to not laying anybody off as you bring in these robots. And interestingly, they want to be able to approve robots and automation that are introduced to the factory. So they really want to be the gatekeepers. The thing that's going to be interesting is both how does this get resolved, but also Hyundai owns a plant in Georgia, and they have said, just like deploying robots in South Korea, they want to bring them to this plant that they have in Georgia by 2028. And so it'll be interesting to see if this has some ripple effects with unions here in the United States.
Now, given the Massachusetts connection here, how does this situation with Hyundai affect Massachusetts?
Well, there's two Hyundai-affiliated groups that are here in Massachusetts, and one of them is Boston Dynamics, the company that's trying to sell all kinds of robots, and they recently announced that they want to do a $100 million expansion of their factory in Waltham, and they think it'll employ up to 1,250 workers. And then there's also this more research-oriented group in Kendall Square called the Robotics and AI Institute, and Hyundai has given them more than $400 million to hire people and think big thoughts about where this is going.
What are you going to be watching for?
What I'm going to be watching for is that Hyundai owns a majority of Boston Dynamics, and so they really can control the design of this robot. They control the factories. And so if anybody is going to figure out how to make humanoid robots do something productive on an assembly line, it's them because they're the designer and the customer. I think the big question is there have been lots of single-purpose, very, task-focused robots in assembly lines for decades now that do one thing. And what could be happening with these humanoid robots, if their balance works and they can walk and they can carry things and they can do productive tasks in a factory and a warehouse, are these like the coming of the personal computer, where they're going to be general purpose, able to do lots of tasks, and that is, going to make them really useful, and probably Boston Dynamics will sell a lot of these Atlas humanoid robots, but it also is going to impact a lot of different jobs.
Scott Kirshner, reporter with our editorial partner Mass Live. Thank you.
Domo arigato, Sharon.
You're wondering who I am. Secret, I've got a secret machine.